Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are here with us again. You love us. I know you do. I'm grabbing your face. Thank ya.
Hey, today let's do a top 5 favorite albums. Back in the day, we used to just buy a whole CD, cherish that CD, play that CD every week. Every day. And so now it's like fast paced. I don't have time to listen to albums. A lot of albums get looked over and just like, oh, skip that. But let's see what your favorite albums are.
Speaking of albums, I guess I'm that old where, vinyl has always been a thing. I remember back in the days, vinyl records used to come in Happy Meals. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. I'm from the area we bought cassette tapes. And like I said, so we didn't have the luxury of digitally going to the next track. Your album had to be the jam. The music used to last 3 or 4 minutes. And plus, we got a Prince album, 10 minutes each song. That was it. But like I said, everything now is like 1 minute, 2 minute long. I'm a little older, okay? But the stuff I like, trust me, I'm a musician and I grew up with music. I grew up with blues, jazz, and all of that. So my spectrum is very broad, okay? So these 5 albums, trust me, it's not in no chronicle order. It is not to dismiss any other albums I liked or listened to. These albums are one, I have plenty, but these are ones I can just grab real quick for you guys that I can listen to back to back, track for track. I can listen to it front and back. And let me start it off with All Eyes on Me. Double Deck album. Man, I gotta admit there was an individual I know who bought it years ago. Immediately, I went and bought immediately. I can say it. So immediately, I had went and bought the tape. Music is one of those. It is the greatest, best time machine. It definitely could take you to a place that you want to be or once been, or just in a neutral standpoint. Though it was not Tupac deepest lyrical content. The music wasn't heavily structured. It was simple, straight to... I wouldn't say simple. It was well structured. The vocabulary wasn't complicated. The music, the composure, like it was just... I don't care what nobody says. Too legit to quit the album. MC Hammer. Dude.
I didn't even know he had an album.
Dude.
I just thought that was the only song.
I think he had like 3 of them, 4 of them. But Too Legit was the biggest commercial one. But again, that same thing with the Vibrations. That album he talked about everything, it was clean. It wasn't vulgar. It was straight to the point, man. It was just downright good. With me, it's much more than music as well. Just like with Tupac and MC Hammer, these guys actually held their own in a lot of aspects. They wasn't talking about just going beating up people. It was like, no, we peaceful, we enjoying ourselves. But if you come over here on that stupid stuff, we gonna get stupid right back. So MC Hammer was that other side of, he was still gangster, but he was like, man, but when we get done with all of this being tough and got to stand up, sometimes you just need to chill, man. Thank God for stuff and help out the community. And like I said, this dude did something for his city that a lot of people won't do. Dude hired over 200-something people. You know what I mean? From his city, from his town. These last 3, I'm going to just jump into them so Hakeem do his thing. Leave me alone, y'all. Nickelback. Vibrations. It's a feel good. Even though the song they was getting spiritual on.
What's the name of the album?
I'm sorry, but Nickelback. For All the Right Reasons and Dark Horse. I know this beyond 5, but I had to slide one up in there. You know what I mean? Both their albums, man, right there, I can listen to on no matter what. I'm happy, sad. Drake. Nothing was the same. Drake. I don't know what it is about that dude, especially back then, that were a soundtrack to my life. At that moment in time, that album was every single track of what I was going through. Like, at that time, I'm like, dude, like, how does he know this?
That's weird.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
And last but not least, The Weeknd, the trilogy. Man, that was another album that came out. I was in a special place mentally, emotionally, and that album was dark. Now, we're talking about vibration. That album was eerie. I can listen to that. That definitely put me in another spot too. So those are my albums. I know I slid in more than 5. You know what I mean?
You kind of cheated a little bit.
Yeah, I did. I did.
Yeah.
What you got, Hakeem?
My first album, because it's not a which one's better, as you were saying.
Yeah.
It's more of just like my top 5, pretty much. First would have to be my first album ever purchased. Would be Michael Jackson Bad album.
Oh, snaps!
That album to me was, I played it every single day. I mean, I had like $15 for my birthday, and that's what I bought. And I was like, oh my god, this is the album with this song and this song and this song. And I was so excited to have it. It was my first CD I ever purchased. Quincy Jones, rest in peace, was perfect to produce this album. For my second album, it would be Maroon 5, Songs About Jane.
Okay.
That album influenced me to grab a guitar. When I first heard the album, I was at like this gaming store and that plays music and they play a whole album, and they played one of the songs from the album, and I was like, oh, that's them. And then next thing you know, a second song off the album came on. I was like, oh, they're playing the whole album. And at this time, you know, it wasn't accepted. You couldn't go to YouTube and be like, I'm just gonna go home. And I literally stayed in the store the entire album until it ended. The third album would be Homogenic by Bjork. I love her music, and like I'm very influenced by what she said about like the sounds, because they were very critical of like using digital and stuff at that point. And she said,
electronic music has not got soul, and they blame the computers. If there's not soul in the music, it's because nobody put it there.
Like all elements, and that album is really atmospheric. It's like you should definitely, whoever likes just to be transported into another land, definitely should check out Bjork. Homogenic. I like saying homogenic. Be Eminem, Relapse.
Okay.
That album right there, a lot of people, especially Eminem himself, is very critical about the album because he was, I guess, he had just came out of his drug phase and drug addiction, and they were like, oh, it's a new Eminem album. Even when I first heard it, I was like, what is this? This doesn't, it's kind of like Eminem, but it's like, and then like years later, the album became like, wow, that was his best time and stuff, like, because he was so animated, and you got all of Eminem, like all characters, and not to mention like the album itself as a whole is very thematic. I love thematic albums. He was the character in the entire album. It was like almost like he was in a laboratory and he was playing all these characters, which you don't hear anymore with like a lot of Eminem albums, but back then, and I really like that. Now, last but not least, talk about thematic albums. The Weeknd, Kissland. That album there was just like, and again, another album when I first heard it, I was like, what is this? This is not The Weeknd.
So pretty.
And so, like, when I listened to it again by myself, like, I would listen to one song and I'm like, I like that song. As I'm listening to each song from the album, it's like a movie.
Yep.
And it's very theatrical. With with the drums and the atmospheric, the melancholy of that album is just so kind of dark. Yeah, and I love that album. It really influenced me once again because I'm heavily influenced by everything. I'm sorry, everybody influences me. Yeah, those are my top 5. Okay. Both of our top 5s are cool. I'm gonna check out your albums.
I'm definitely checking out yours.
Yeah, I think you already probably heard most of them.
Yeah.
But our album, our top 5. Sir. We're gonna have to do like a top 10 next time.
Oh man, we'll be here for that.
Top 20.
Especially me, I get to talk and going into the details. I
know you start talking about the artist's background.
Yeah. I remember what the draws they had on when they played it.
Oh boy, TMI.
You're right. But thank you guys for tuning in.
If it's any lists suggested to us, just email us and we'll go over that list. We'll like very conjugate like what we can come up with.
We will do that.
That's right.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget, hit that like, subscribe, say something good, say something bad. I don't give a damn.
What were your favorite top 5 albums? Or what are your favorite albums? Just leave a comment in the list below.
I know y'all finna get after me or get on me about the MC Hammer
And the Nickelback.
and the Nickelback. I'm ready. I'm grabbing y'all by the face. I want to smoke. Peace.
Hey y'all, check this out. Gotta tune into the Carlito Show. If you don't want to Google it, just look it up on YouTube. I talk about everything. You, me, the world. Check out the Carlito Show, baby. You'll love it.